Hello everyone, this is a review video for the periodic table learning targets 4.4 and 4.5, which basically say that you need to know 4 major groups on the periodic table. You need to know where they are, what group each element belongs to, and you need to know the properties of the groups. This is a periodic table that I found online, and since we didn't have notes, I'm just going to use it to talk you through some of those properties and some things that you want to remember. This periodic table does not have one of the groups that we used or that we highlighted, which would be the noble or the inert gases. And that's this column over here that I've put a red box around. Other than that, it has the 4 basic groups that you do on your periodic table in your notes. So one thing that you need to do, you need to know if an element belongs to a group. Simple as that. So if we are to point to, let's say, lithium, you need to know that lithium is a metal, and you will not have these colors to help you out with that. So you need to know basically where the groups are. And don't forget that if you karate chop your hand down along this line here, what you will end up with is everything that way is metals except for this guy up here. Don't forget that. That is a non-metal. Everything this way is non-metals except for this group in red here. And everything under the line is semi-metals. So that's a little trick that I teach my classes to remembering basically where all of these groups are. So I'm going to erase all of these lines. Once again, don't forget that this is the inert gases. So a little bit about each group. This big group here of metals, all of these elements, they do not have the exact same properties, but for the most part, they share a few properties. Like, for the most part, they are shiny. We also use the word luster. For the most part, they are good conductors, which means heat and electricity can pass through them easily. So good conductors of heat and electricity. They also tend to be easily stretchable or flexible. We use the words ductile and we use the words malleable. Okay, so that is for that big group. Now let's take a look at another group that we're going to talk about, and that's going to be, let's use color yellow. How about that? This group here, the nonmetals, and don't forget hydrogen is a part of that. I can almost guarantee you're going to be asked about hydrogen, so don't forget that. That's the nonmetals group. And all you have to do is think of everything that this metal group is not. So if this metal group is shiny, we think of these as not being shiny. If this metal group is flexible, these are not flexible. And if this metal group is good conductors, these are not good conductors. Heat and electricity do not pass through them easily. That is how you will want to remember those. And then from there, it's fairly simple. We have this group down the middle of the stair-step line, and these are the semi-metals, and these tend to be a little bit of each of these. It's almost like they're part metal and part non-metal. So they tend to be hard, they tend to be brittle, like the nonmetals, but they also tend to be able to conduct heat and electricity, but only sometimes. So that's why we call them semiconductors. And then the last one you want to remember is that this group on the end, they don't like to hang out with others. They are very, very unreactive. Do not like to bond with other elements. And that's the main thing we want to remember about that. Don't forget that you need to study this information. You need to find people to quiz you in anticipation of the quiz on Tuesday and the test on Friday. Good luck, and if you need any more help, please see your instructor.